this. Let's continue to take the shots. 14, 13, Pittman back in front. Now trying to corner inside. He made Wilson's Nurkic screen center. 15, 14. The Denver bench is going nuts.
That right there is LeBron James. You might have heard of him before. He was the first pick of the 2003 NBA draft, and ever since, he's been playing basketball at an all-time great level. Some even say he's the best to ever do it, but you already knew about all that. So let's take a step back. Let's rewind to a simpler time. A time where Kobe, Duncan, and Kevin Garnett were the faces of the league, and LeBron was just a mere up-and-comer in high school. People might forget it now, but it wasn't just LeBron that made this St. Vincent-St. Mary's high school team so great. As a matter of fact, this team's starting lineup was so good that they got their own nickname, the Fab Five. But you don't know these other guys' names, do you? So what happened to them? Did any of them end up in the NBA with LeBron? How has their relationship changed with James, if it even has at all? Let's dive into these questions and learn the true stories of Joyce III, Willie McGee, CN Cotton, and Romeo Travis, the four other guys that shared the court with LeBron all those years back. Our story starts off when LeBron was in middle school, when he led his AAU team to nationals. On that team with LeBron were McGee, Cotton, and Joyce, and the four formed a close friendship. They called themselves the Fab Four, and they all promised with each other that when the time came for high school, they'd all choose the same one to go to. And in the year 2000, that very thing happened. LeBron controversially chose to go to St. Vincent-St. Mary's High School, and the rest of the Fab Four followed right behind him. All four of them made varsity team as freshmen, but only LeBron got playing time. Now, that would all change when, in the state championship, Joyce hit 7 straight threes in a row in just 10 minutes to win the game for the high school. Suddenly, LeBron's boys were starting to get both respect and minutes. In year number 2, a new guy joined town. His name was Romeo Travis, and he soon would become close friends with LeBron and his crew. All of a sudden, the Fab Four now turned into the Fab Five. In his 3 years with St. Vincent-St. Mary's, Romeo Travis averaged 17 points and 11 rebounds. Joyce was just as great as the team's starting point guard, and CN Cotton was the team's starting center for years, while also being an accomplished football player. Willie McGee wasn't quite as successful. He mainly was a bench guy, but he still got minutes from time to time. In 2003, the Fab Five played their final game together, and they left off on a high note. They won the state championship in a packed stadium on national television, and at the end of it all, you can see the crew dancing and celebrating together as they embrace their final moments as teammates. This could have been the end of it all, but instead, the crew has kept in touch. You see, the king still never forgot his high school friends. He still regularly tweets at them and has posted pictures of them hanging out together as recently as 2019. Obviously, he's a very busy man and his work forces them to stay apart for most of the year, but at this point, the other guys have also all settled into their grown adult lives and have also all found success in their lives as well. So let's go down the list of what they do. Let's start with Willie McGee, who, after all the insanity that went down in high school, moved away from all the glamour and into a small college in West Virginia. He earned his master's degree, then returned to St. Vincent-St. Mary's to become an assistant basketball coach. coach. He's now the school's head of athletics, and out of the 5, he definitely lives the most normal life of them all. Cian Cotton went to college at Ohio State on a football scholarship, but he only played 4 games. Since then, the man has become a rapper, and has dropped 2 mixtapes, Black Moth and Coming Home. His song Almost Home was even on the NBA 2K14 soundtrack. In 2015, he got LeBron himself to feature on one of his tracks. Take a listen.
Roll with us, cause you know we got it. We got it. We got it. Roll with us, cause you know we got it. We got it. We got it. It's a damn shame that you ever doubted. Doubt it. Come roll with us, cause you know we got it.
Yep, while LeBron was out in Cleveland trying to beat a 67-win Warriors squad, he was also hopping on his childhood friends' songs. This video only has 20,000 views. For a song with a LeBron verse, this hidden gem just never took off for some reason. Personally, I think LeBron did a pretty good job. Drew Joyce is the next guy up, and as the little guy of the group, he had always been doubted. If you look at early pictures with the Fab Four, Joyce is noticeably tiny, and barely any colleges wanted him even though he was a high school star. He was a walk-on at Akron University and worked his way up until he was their starting point guard for 3 straight years. Joyce averaged 9 points, 4 assists, and shot 43% from 3 in his 4 years at Akron. But when he declared for the 2007 NBA draft, he unfortunately did go undrafted. In 2009, he got a spot on the Cavaliers Summer League team and played 4 games and put up 8 minutes, 1 point, and 1 assist. This was the point in time where rumors started of LeBron leaving Cleveland, so I think this move was just a desperate attempt to convince the king to stay. But who knows, maybe they actually saw something in Drew, and in an alternate universe, him and LeBron would reunite with the Cavs for good. Although that's clearly not what happened, Joyce had been doubted countless times before at every level, and it had never stopped him. He then traveled to Europe and played 12 years overseas, finally retiring in 2020. Crazily enough, his career was almost as long as LeBron's. Lastly is Romeo Travis, the best one of the bunch not named LeBron James. Travis joined Joyce at Akron University and put up 12 points and 6 rebounds per game. After the duo played all 4 years of college together, Travis bounced around to just about every European country you can think of to play pro ball. He went from Germany to Israel to Croatia to Ukraine to Russia to the Philippines to France, all the way to Italy. And he's been extremely dominant in most of the places he's gone to. And even LeBron can't help but recognize this as well on his socials. Travis and LeBron have been dubbed the closest of the group since they left high school, and the two have been pictured working out together multiple times pretty recently. As of right now, Travis is playing for a Philippines team called, wait for it, the Jeep Elite. Man, I wish NBA teams had sponsored names like this. Could you imagine rooting for the Los Angeles Range Rovers? I don't know why, but I feel like I just need that in my life. So that's where LeBron's 4 closest childhood teammates are today. All of them had some athletic success, but never enough for any of us normies to take notice. Still, for a bunch of kids that grew up in a rough neighborhood, all of them have done very well for themselves. And LeBron's loyalty to these friends is very clear. We all know that he never hesitates to find a chance to bring up that he's from Akron, and that pride he has extends to all of those within Akron as well. Because LeBron wasn't supposed to make it. For years, he was just another kid struggling to find his next meal. And now that he's at the top and everybody wants to be his friend, he holds those that supported him before he was anything even closer. He could have just shrugged them off and continued with his celebrity life, but that is not the type of person person LeBron is. And that is something truly inspiring. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe for NBA videos multiple times a week. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss out on what I have coming soon, so be sure to click that little red button. And with that, stay safe out there.